catch up on some of these things. The first being a new film on Hulu that just recently premiered called Rye Lane, which is a story about two sort of 20 something individuals who were fresh off of some breakups. And so they all of a sudden meet each other, and we just get to follow them over the course of like a day and see how that relationship unfolds, how they're sort of unpacking and dealing with the past trauma of their breakups and how that sort of manifests into this new love that we're seeing develop over the course of about 24 hours. Not even that really, but again, this movie just came out on Hulu. This is, again, about two black, young, up and coming sort of people figuring out their place in the world. And they're also in London. This is about, sort of London British black people, sort of existing in that particular context. I know we both got a chance to see this. What did you think about Rye Lane and what you saw from that?
Man, I loved it. I love when a movie can come in and be the definition of a rom-com. There's enough rom and there's enough com, and the mix is there. I think recently there's a couple rom-coms I've been watching. I'm like, that's a little too funny. There's little rom-coms I'm watching. I'm like, man, y'all didn't have to go romance that hard. Y'all could have made a couple last, but Rye Lane, man, finds a way to feel fresh and make me feel like the blend was correct, man. I absolutely loved it. I gotta commend whatchamacallit, I gotta commend Rain Allen Miller, who also is I think this is her I think
Her
she might have made some other
debut.
stuff. Yeah, this is her directorial debut
I
too,
believe
right?
so.
Though
Yeah.
technically, in terms of a feature film. So man, I know. Shoot, fresh off 1001. Here's another black woman doing her thing, man. And it's just a really fun movie. That what something I really love about it is it uses there all in all the number of white rom-coms to black rom-coms, it's not even close, right? There's something about this though that, of course, there's the Photograph and Love Jones and Love and Best. All these love. This one though has like I love it uses his blackness in such a millennial way, if that makes sense. Like it feels so new, but it feels like, dang, I understand exactly what y'all are saying because the landscape of dating has changed from all the. I can't relate to Love Jones. I wasn't in the dating world in Love Jones. I was a little kid, you know what I'm saying? But Rye Lane exists, and I watch it, and I'm like, this feels like a world that I live in. This feels like something that I can point and be like, yeah, I get that, and I really love that about it, man. It's a pretty dope. It's a pretty dope movie. I feel like at some point it's gonna become like a comfort movie for me, just the way it felt. But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, this was such a fun watch, and I was particularly interested in just watching this because David Johnson, the lead in the movie, he's in industry, and I've checked out his work in that show, and he's very, very, very excellent in industry, and also just the fact that this is sort of taking place within the context of like South London, like we're following South Londoners, who are black and sort of just existing in this day and age of dating, and the fact that they're both at the same time coming off of pretty bad relationships that ended badly, and they're crossing these paths was really cool and sort of an idea that we haven't seen explored that much, especially when it comes to like black rom-coms, because what this reminded me of, which has been done before, is something that we sort of witnessed with the Before trilogy, where it's like you just follow
Yeah,
two people walking and talking and just like going on their adventures in one particular day. Like we're just looking at a very, very specific moment in time. And I love stories like that because you really get
yeah.
to just spend time focusing on their conversations, finding out what they have in common, finding out everything that they're bringing to the relationship. And all of that
Mhm.
stuff was just beautifully realized and rendered in this movie because there's so much originality here. The use of color, the camera angles, all of that stuff was super creative. Like there's even weird sequences where you see like copies of characters pop up, and it's like, what's going on here? Like when they retell stuff or when there's flashbacks, it's never done so in a very boring way. It's always just visually interesting to help keep the story at a good momentum and at a good pace. And that's saying a lot because the film is only like 82 minutes long. It's already not a long film to begin with, but the way that it moves and the way that it hits all of its beats, it's just really, really, really great stuff. So I overall had a really good time with this, and I think it's certainly something that people should check out and definitely have a new sort of rom-com, as you said, to exist within this new modern context of what black love stories
Mhm.
can look like, especially on a cinematic scale.